Sarah's calling us from North Carolina. Hi, Sarah.
Hi, Dan. Well, I'm calling this morning with a little bit of a different question, but since you're so knowledgeable, I'm guessing you're going to be able to help me out here. But basically, I started tinkering around with this little jewelry line. I started to make little pieces of jewelry that were really unique, and they showed them to my friends, and all of a sudden, boom, and they've just gotten so popular.
Wow.
It's fun to make it, but I'm obviously not going to make it free. It takes a lot of time. It takes material, etc.
Right.
But I'm nervous because I've been taking payments on PayPal and this and that, and I mean, it's not something I'm making thousands of dollars or anything crazy like that, but at the same time, I don't know, what if somebody like me that makes a craft and people are interested in it, I just want to be legit, I don't know, because I am accepting electronic payment and this and that, and,
Right.
I've got some shows coming up, craft shows, where I have an opportunity to sell more, and I was thinking about getting the cube. So that's
Yeah.
So what would you suggest for somebody like me it's probably only a few $100 extra a month, but it sure is helpful to the family as I stay at home with the kids and that. And I don't know what to do, actually.
Well, I would say, Sarah, you're doing everything right. That's fine. The nice thing about the electronic payment is it gives you a good record of what you've taken in. So, you're operating, you don't have to do anything too different. You're a sole proprietor, basically. This is just supplementing your income. My suggestion to you would be keeping a very, very accurate record of your expenses. And the thing that I would suggest is that you have an actual little notebook, a log book, that you would use, that you log any mileage that you drive to the show and all those kinds of things. You keep all your expenses a very accurate record written down, and any receipts you have, you keep that. And basically, you're going to have to pay, obviously, taxes on that difference between what are actual business expenses, what are going back into the expenses, so on and so forth, and the additional income you have. I wouldn't do anything elaborate. I wouldn't spend any money other than what you've already spent. I would keep doing exactly what you're doing. And if it grows, continues to grow, that's great. But I think you're fine. At the end of the year, when you do your taxes, you're going to have, you may have to get some help if you haven't before in doing your taxes, but you're going to just go to your tax preparer, or if you're using a business program from TurboTax, you're just going to have to record all your income and your expenses against it, and you're going to be fine. I would suggest to you, Sarah, that you anticipate the paying taxes. Worst case scenario is that is not going to be the case because of your expenses, not to mention your household expenses that you might normally use as tax deductions. So if your household gets money back every year when you do your taxes, do you get money back usually?
Yes, sir.
So in all likelihood, as this grows, that's going to start going down. You're going to get less money back next year because you have this income to apply to it. So I wouldn't worry too much about it this year. But when it gets to the point where you do your taxes and it looks like you're going to pay some taxes at the end of the year because of this additional income, then, of course, I would tell you to start setting some money aside somewhere to pay those taxes. So you make maybe $200 this month, and you take $30 out and kind of $20 and set it aside as your tax money on that $200, and that would be wise to do. So I think that you're doing everything right. The greatest piece of advice that I could give you would be to make sure that as each month you take that income, that you tithe on it, and thank God for giving you the talent, obviously, and the blessing of these few extra dollars. So that's the greatest advice I can give to you, that you would tithe on this little business that is growing and that you have, and you won't even miss the tithe. God is the great multiplier. You need to just I don't want you to miss out on that act of worship, on tithing on this additional income. So I think if you do those things, you'll be fine. But you're doing all the right things. You don't have any elaborate accounting that you need to do. I wouldn't do it. I just keep good records, expenses, and your income.